got our long love affair. 62 years we've been married. And it's been deep and fierce and sweet and fun. Just amazing. Terry says, what's amazing is how long two people can misunderstand one another. Isn't that the truth? I was standing at the kitchen sink not long ago, just having a rotten day. And I was looking down at the disposal, and Terry was in the kitchen, and I said, Sugar, I just need a kiss. I turned around, he's standing right there. He said, I didn't even know we had any chicken salad. He didn't have on his hearing aids. My mother said that the whole country went straight to hell the day they quit building houses with front porches. Isn't that the truth? She said when people just quit giving a damn about their neighbor's business. My mother gave a damn about her neighbor's business. She told me in no uncertain terms not to bite the ham kids that lived at the end of the block. She said, my God, there's no telling what you'd get from those kids. She said, their mother's the filthiest thing I ever saw in my life. She said, dirtiest housekeeper and long, old, black, oily, stringy hairs hanging out from her armpits. This goes to show what a college education will do for some people. She said, but, you know, Mrs. Ham, she would have been a good person, bless her heart, if she had just been another person. I remember sleeping down in that basement on a summer night when I was 5 years old. And I started praying and praying so hard for snow. I woke to a white morning with almost enough faith for a whole lifetime. I woke on cool sheets at ease with the morning, the smell of summer rain and kids all sticky with honey when you walked in and parted the kitchen with your silence. Time struck dumb till I saw what you'd found in the closet. A painting, hidden for 7 years, but hanging on our bedroom wall 7 years before all hell broke loose. Maybe it could have been prevented if I'd believed then in art. When the spirit of my soothsayers brushed your canvas and spelled it out as clear as the early days. But I doubt it. For I've seen your lines become our highways. Your forms house our history. And more than once, content come true. I stare at the new drawing you gave me. Suspect of the skeletons wearing my bracelets, walking off in my high heels, leaving a dead rabbit on the sidewalk. You call it tragic magic? Poor rabbit. Now that I'm a believer, I'm going to certainly think twice about it. Terry was out working, doing a project in Texas. We were in California, and we got in the car, and we decided that we would all meet in Texas, and we were all excited about it. Well, somewhere right in the middle of the Arizona desert, the middle of nowhere, and this is true, we drove our car right into the end of the rainbow, right where the pot of gold is supposed to be. And people say, oh, that's impossible. No, it happened. And a trucker saw it too, and he pulled his rig over and he got out of his car. And I mean, the beautiful colors were just, they were all over the highway and all over our clothes and on our hands. And I told the kids that we should hold hands and say our prayers. And we did, because we knew that we were in a magic place. You got to open your life to some better things. You got to open your soul like a door and let your heart roll out. You let it ramble about with the ones that you love for sure. Of course, there's always paradox. Now, I know about paradox because I was raised in Lubbock. Lubbock is like India. Lubbock's extreme. Lubbock is contradiction. Everything in Lubbock has its opposites and spades. You take my grandmothers, for instance. They lived exactly catty-cornered from each other. Now, one of them was skinny and lived in the big house. The other one was catty-cornered. She was fat and she lived in a shack. The skinny one in the big house was so clean that you could eat off her bathroom floor. Now, you can do that at the other one's house. The skinny one in the big house, she looked rich, but she was poor. And she forbid me to listen to country music because it reminded her of her roots. I watched Grandma Kunze go out in the backyard, wring a chicken's neck, slam that old ratty back door screen, throw it in the kitchen sink, and just mash cockroaches around the rim of the sink with the same bloody hand. And she did not have a problem with country music. She was fat, and she lived in a 2-room morning glory shack right behind the Piggly Wiggly grocery. At 10 in the morning, we'd go down the alley just singing Peace in the Valley, and we'd sort through all that old rotten food, and we'd come home with a whole crate full and just celebrate everything. She'd be holding up her skirt with one hand and hold my hand with the other, and barefooted we danced on that old cockroach floor to buttons and bows and detours, and 8 dolls with china heads watched from her bed. Those were the scariest things you ever saw in your life. She took in washing and ironing. Now, there's a contradiction for you. Lye soap bubbling on her stove. Everybody thought she was poor, but she had a dog named Mitzi, at least 20 chickens, hundreds of stories about the Dust Bowl, big old stack of country records, a ruby comb, and a red fox heads and tails. Beautiful. She claimed she found them in the middle of the road. And then in the evenings, she would sit in this rocker with her feet soaking in a bucket and a big old Bible on her lap. And I'd plait her long gray hair, and she would tell me how beautiful she used to be, dancing every single dance under the Texas moon till dawn, when my grandfather the gambler would take her home. Shuck some corn. When the stalks break off, the husk skinned, the silk gone, the ear boiled, gobble and gnaw and suck it raw till there's just a cob, no more. Shuck off my mama and my daddy and my lover and my babies and my grandbabies and all of theirs and all of my friends and family. Strip off the silks one by one, and what would be left is a secret.